Imagine being 17 years old, sitting in your own home, and feeling like the smallest detail of your identity is under siege. Not your grades, not your life choices, your name, and not just questioned once in passing, but pressed over and over and over again, until every repetition feels like a small chisel tapping at the foundation of who you are. That was my life for months, and it all started with one simple choice. Last year, I did something that for me was monumental. I legally changed my first name. I was born Evelyn. It was the name my parents chose with love, but for as long as I could remember, it never felt like mine. It was too formal, too old-fashioned, like wearing a dress 2 sizes too big that I was told would fit me one day. Except it never did. For years, I'd been called Indy by close friends, a nickname pulled from my original middle name. That name fit. It felt alive, vibrant, and truly me. My parents, after realizing how deeply I identified with Indy, agreed to support my legal change. It was official. I was Indy in every way that mattered. My older brother is 30, married to Haley, who's 29, and they're expecting their first baby. I was happy for them. We were all looking forward to the newest member of the family. And then, one day, Haley asked me about my name. She said she'd always loved older vintage names, that they were thinking of choosing one for their baby. And she wanted to know, why did I dislike Evelyn so much that I had to change it? She mentioned how popular it had become lately, how vintage was back. At first, I didn't mind. I told her the truth. I've never liked vintage names. To me, they sounded old-fashioned, out of place on me. The popularity didn't matter. My feelings about the style had been the same for years. She listened. She nodded. And then a week later, she asked again. Same question, same tone, this time pressing harder for a reason. I gave her the same answer. She asked again the week after that. Then again. By the 7th time, she admitted she was worried. Worried that if she chose an old-fashioned name for her baby, the child might grow up to hate it, like I had. She said she wanted to figure out what she could do differently than my parents had. But she didn't stop there. She said she was sad I had chosen Indy over Evelyn. That Evelyn was beautiful, elegant. That maybe I should rethink my decision. I had already asked her to stop, repeatedly. I even went to my brother and asked him to step in. He brushed it off, told me to understand it was just the pregnancy hormones. But the questions didn't stop. In fact, I'm not exaggerating when I say she brought it up more than 25 times. 25 times of me explaining, deflecting, asking her to let it go. 2 weeks ago, it happened again. She told me I'd made a mistake changing my name, that when I was 30, I wouldn't be so against Evelyn. I told her, if 30-year-old me wanted to change it again, that would be my problem. She shook her head, said I didn't have a good reason for liking Indy, that it seemed like the kind of name someone young would like, but an older person wouldn't. Yesterday, she started again. The baby is almost here, so I thought maybe the end was in sight. But no. She asked me, once more, to think about why I changed my name. She wanted my help to figure out how to avoid the mistake she believed my parents had made. And then she said the words that snapped the thread of my patience. They really shouldn't have let you change your name so young. Something inside me broke. I told her to stop asking me the same question, that my answer wouldn't change, that her comments weren't going to change my mind. I told her I don't like old-fashioned names, that I think they're awful, that I was sick of hearing how much better they are, sick of her trying to extract a reason that would somehow be acceptable to her. And then I said it, the thing that finally made her cry. Just like you hate Indy, I hate Evelyn, and you need to let it go already. She burst into tears. My brother got angry. My parents, instead of backing me up, asked why I had to be so harsh with her. I sat there, stunned. I'd spent months being as patient as I could be. I'd said no politely. I'd asked her to stop. I'd brought it up to my brother. I'd endured the same question more than 24 times, layered with little jabs about how my name was a mistake. And now, I was the one being called out for finally snapping. It's not like I don't understand that she's nervous about naming her child. I get it. No one can guarantee their kid will like the name they're given. But that's the point. You can't control it. You pick something you love. You hope it suits them. And if it doesn't, you respect their choice to change it. But for months, I'd been made to feel like my identity was a cautionary tale she needed to fix. Like my name wasn't valid unless she approved of it. Now my parents think I was too blunt. My brother thinks I should have just been understanding. And Haley, well, she's probably telling people her pregnant sister-in-law made her cry. So, am I the asshole? Because from where I'm standing, all I did was finally tell the truth after months of being cornered about something that's mine and mine alone. Here's the thing. Names are personal. They're the first gift we receive, but they're not always the right fit. And it doesn't mean your parents failed you if you change yours. It just means you know yourself well enough to choose differently. What happened here wasn't just a difference in taste. It was a pattern. A slow, grinding erosion of boundaries. One person's anxiety about the future turned into repeated pressure on someone else's past. I think about the way this could have gone differently. My brother could have stepped in after the first few times and said, "She's answered you. Let it go." My parents could have said, "We support her decision, and so should you." Haley could have heard my answer, respected it, and moved on. Instead, I was left to carry the weight of her insecurity until my patience gave out. So maybe the lesson isn't just about names. Maybe it's about the respect we owe each other when someone sets a boundary, and the cost of ignoring it. What do you think? Was I wrong for finally saying what I felt? Or is there a point where kindness stops being patience and starts being self-erasure? I want to hear from you, because somewhere out there, someone else is sitting at a table, being asked the same question for the 25th time, wondering if they're allowed to finally say, "Enough."